everyone. Welcome to the Align Your Life show. So glad you are here. My name is Jenny Parks. I'm here with my guest today, Heather Bischoff. She's actually my guest and co-host the third Tuesday of every month. Heather is the owner of Dragonfly Direction. She's a speaker, a mentor, and offers leadership development for women. Welcome back, my friend.
Thank you.
So glad you're here. So Heather had the honor and privilege of being featured recently on See Jane Do, which if you're not familiar with See Jane Do, it is an award-winning social change media and event productions organization that empowers everyday women to be a hero in their own lives and provides tools to put passion into action, which is really exactly what you do in your business. Pretty much sums it up, doesn't it?
It really does.
So you were the perfect person to be featured on See Jane Do. I listened to it. It was awesome. I thought it was fantastic. And one of the things that I so love about Heather and having her here is, and I was telling you this earlier, you're so articulate. And the way that she speaks and just really brings home the points that you're making and the just development that you're offering to women. You just speak in a very simple way that is relatable, I think, to so many people. So I really enjoyed it. And I did post it on my Facebook page, the link to listen to that. If you didn't have a chance to hear it, you can go back to my Facebook page and hear it. So how was that experience for you?
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. It was really hard to keep it under wraps, I will say that.
Yeah, because I didn't even know about it. And all of a sudden it's like, hey, check this out. I'm like, what?
Yes, Elisa is an amazing person. She is the founder of See Jane Do, and a good friend of mine introduced me to her, and absolutely love her, love all of the projects that she does. She features so many amazing women, and truly it felt like an honor to be part of that, lineup.
Wow, absolutely an honor. So let's start with what it is that you actually do in your business, because I wanted to touch a little bit on that. We always talk about so many different things on the show when Heather is here, but what I really wanted to hone in on today was just what it is that you offer and really how it is you came to be at this point with Dragonfly Direction and in your life too, because I think the two are really interconnected. Yeah. So I know that you do a lot of group classes, one-on-one consulting. You do corporate consulting.
Yes.
You do a lot of different stuff.
I do.
That just scratches the
Yes,
surface.
it does. But really, in honesty, it's all kind of under the same umbrella. And that is I really help people find themselves and live the lives that they absolutely love so that they can be in full alignment and just really enjoy life. Because if we can't enjoy life, then why be here?
I agree. And I think one of the questions that maybe a lot of people might have is, what makes you the expert? You've had a lot of life experience.
I have had a lot of life experience. I've not lived very long, but I have lived very much.
Yes.
And so I have lots of experience, and I, experienced domestic violence, sexual abuse, teen pregnancy, and in all honesty, I have every reason to just say, well, this is too hard, I don't want to do this, I'm just going to not do anything. And I could have lived a very, humble life, so to speak, not moved, away from my hometown, but I just had such a desire for more. I just wanted more, and all of those things, rather than define me, they made me want to live even more.
Are you able to look back now at this point in your life and where you are at those instances and situations in your life that could have really just took you to your knees and left you there? But are you able to look back now and see the role that they played?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I think this is something that not everyone can understand, because even though the experiences that I had were not easy or pleasant or comfortable, I am so grateful for them. I learned something every time, and each one of those experiences made me so much more passionate, compassionate, and just really driven.
How do you go from someone who has been in those situations, though, that are so tough that I don't even know if I can put words to them. I'm sure you can. You're much better at that than I am. But how, there's probably maybe someone listening that says, yeah, I've experienced that too, and that's a bunch of BS. There's no, that's the most horrific thing in the world, and I can't see myself ever moving past that. How do you even begin that process?
Yes. Well, that's a great question. It's not easy. It's so much easier said than done. But I would say, we all have a purpose in life, and we all have choices to make. And we can choose to allow our circumstances to limit us, or we can choose our circumstances. And for me, it was, sitting here having a pity party, feeling bad for myself, it's not helping me, it's not helping anyone else. And so, you know, this quote that someone had shared with me years ago that really kind of got me on fire, because I've talked about it on the show before, and I talked about it in the podcast, but the quote was, "Who is your fear going to keep you from helping?" And I was just not okay with that. That was something that really just, it burned me. And I just thought, you know what? I can sit here and I can be afraid to do something, to help someone, to share my story, or I can just do it. And I just felt like, you know, having all of these experiences, obviously they're meant for a reason. And I just decided that I wanted to turn them into light instead of darkness.
I agree that experiences all have a reason. And sometimes it's so hard to understand what that looks like or what that could possibly be, because we do face a lot of devastation and horrible circumstances in our life and throughout the world. You see things like that all the time. But I love what you just said about I can turn it into the light and really helping other people, because we're all in this together, right? Absolutely. And that's really what life is all about. Yeah. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely, yes. I mean, everyone has a story. Yes. And I remember a friend of mine, I was talking with her, and I was just like, you know, oh, my story is so colorful, and your story is not. You had the perfect, you know, upbringing with the white picket fence and the American dream. And you know, she had said something to me, and it's really profound, because she was just like, you know, I still have a story. You know, I still have struggles, I still have trials. Just because I didn't go through the things that you did doesn't mean that I'm any less, you know, important or have anything less, you know, important to share. And that was such an eye-opening thing for me, because we all have a story.
We do.
And it doesn't matter if your story has lots of color, as I, you know, like to say, or if it's, you know, white. It's still a story.
That's such a great point, because I think so many people do compare themselves to other people. And whether you're in the trenches and you do have some horrific thing happening, or you're someone who you just described that maybe can only see all of the good, but why is it that I'm carrying something that's holding me back in my life? There's a story there to be told. And sometimes it's so deeply ingrained. And that's really some of what you assist women with, is really getting to that, peeling back those onion layers, and getting to what is at the root of whatever it is that's holding them back for whatever reason. And it doesn't matter what the reason is or how deep it is.
Exactly.
Yes. We will continue talking with Heather. We have to take a quick break, but we will be right back.
Everyone knows it's easy to find first-run movies in the big theaters. But where can you go to watch your favorite classic movies on the big screen for the perfect night out? Why rent a flick when you can rent the entire theater? Call today to reserve our 32-seat theater for your next event, or just stop by to see what's showing this weekend. The 14 by 7 foot screen and the high quality digital surround sound system offers all the amenities you would expect from the big theaters, with a laid back atmosphere and comfortable seating of your own home. Wofford Theater at 1744 South 10th Street in Noblesville gives you the classic movies you want with a big theater experience.
You know, when Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage: Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Hey, Hey everyone, welcome back to the Align Your Life show here with Heather Bischoff. She is the owner of Dragonfly Direction, and we're just going into a little bit of her background story. Heather does a lot of work empowering women, assisting women with peeling back those onion layers, helping them move forward in their life, and so much more. But I really wanted to kind of hone in on that because I know too, with just some of the people that I work with, I see it a lot too, where people just don't see what is possible for them.
Oh
they
my gosh,
just have no idea, and they see all of the roadblocks, all of the reasons why not, all of the excuses that we can come up with. Maybe they don't have a supportive spouse, or maybe they don't have a support net, whatever it is. There's so many reasons. So why do you think that people live into the fear and not into the possibility?
Well, I think a lot of times they live into the fear because it's actually comfortable.
It's what they're used to.
It's what they're used to.
Yeah.
To do something out of the norm would be so far out of their comfort level that sometimes that's too much for them. And so that's part of what I do. And so sometimes when I'm working with clients, it can be, I'm going to help them take those baby steps. And sometimes I'm going to just push them off the cliff.
Yeah.
And so, don't fear. I don't just push people off cliffs. But, I mean, sometimes that's what they need, in all honesty. And so, I really do take an assessment of where they are. And for some people, they just really needed somebody to give them that support to actually do that big thing that they've always wanted to do, but just never felt like they had the courage. And essentially, I kind of am that support system, helping them to muster up that courage so that they can do the things that they really want to do.
What do you find is behind that for people? Because, again, there are just so many people who do not step into their power, who do not just be who they are. I talk to so many people who say, I don't like my job, I want to get out of here, I can't stand my boss, or I'm a mom, but I would love to have time to do this for myself. Just whatever that looks like for the individual. Everybody has desires that are deeply rooted, that are just in there churning. Why is it that people can't seem to just get past whatever it is that they're using as their excuse?
There's all sorts of different reasons. And so a lot of that stems back to a story that they told or something that they picked up as a child. Other things, they've really just lost passion and they're embarrassed to say it. I can't tell you how many people that I work with, whether it be in an individual or a group setting, and people are just like, I'm 40 years old and I have no idea what I'm passionate about.
And they don't know what their purpose is.
And they don't know what their purpose is. And so when you don't know that,
they're so old that they should know this by now?
Exactly. Okay. They're just kind of like, I should know this by now. Why don't I know this? Again, then all of a sudden then it's the cycle of shame and, oh, I'm embarrassed and I shouldn't do this. And there's so many 40, 50, 60-year-olds that don't know their purpose and they don't know their passion. But what I love to help them uncover is that it's there and they do know it. They just lost track of it.
So how do you find it?
Yes. So we definitely peel back the layers. And so I have a program. I focus a lot on labels. And I have a program, whether it be in a corporate setting or an individual setting, that really helps people peel back the layers of labels and limitations and expectations that other people have put back on them, and help them to rebuild and figure out what it looks like, what it means like to be in alignment with yourself.
I want to talk about the corporate setting for a second because that's what I can relate to. And I think there are a lot of people who can relate to that also, who are working jobs that they don't feel fulfilled in, that they aren't passionate about, that they're burnt out over. Maybe they're surrounded by people who they don't necessarily like or enjoy or wouldn't necessarily choose to be around outside of being paid to do so. And I know that that's not necessarily my experience, but after I stepped out of working in the corporate world, it allowed me to see so much of what I couldn't see because I was so in it, you know? And once you kind of distance yourself, then you can see all of the ways that you were allowing yourself to maybe be stuffed, to maybe be pushed down, to maybe be capped. You
allow certain things.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And sometimes you don't realize it, though, in that moment.
Correct.
You think that that's just the way that it is, that there's really nothing you can do about it. So I guess my question then is, for me, I was able to just walk away from that, but in that came the gift of seeing what it was that I was holding myself back from. How about people who say, no way I'm walking away from my job, or no way I can't do that, I have a family to support, whatever it is. How do they uncover that for themselves? How can they get clear on that?
Yes. So again, another great question, and you were very fortunate and very courageous to walk away from your job, because I know a lot of people do not have, they haven't built a lifestyle where they could do that. And for some people, they can't even fathom what that would look like. Really, it comes down to taking some time to invest in yourself. So the corporate programs that I offer are, gaining power over limiting labels, and really it helps people understand what it means to, what it is that they're actually passionate about. So we kind of uncover some of those things, and then we look at, what makes them feel fulfilled and full and full of passion and energy and desire, and how we take that and align it with the company. And maybe, helping them to figure out what they're really good at, what they love in their life, and helping them to take more of that and use that in their work, because it just is a huge difference to do that.
Investing in ourselves, to me, is just the single most important thing that we could do.
Yes.
And I know before I stepped out on my own, that was something that I always did kind of here and there when I had time, but not all the time. It wasn't. Right. It was something that often got placed in the back burner. But as I began as I began to just push myself out of my comfort zone, which took me a long time to do, and now I actually welcome those opportunities, because when you get on the other side of it, you know how empowering it's going to be. You know how much better you're going to be on the other side, and it's almost addicting in a way.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But that's one of the things that's really important to me on a daily basis, is taking time to invest in myself, whether it be eating, whether it be exercising, but really self-development, personal growth, and self-development. So key. Doing at least one thing every day.
Absolutely.
It helps you get to know yourself.
It does, because we've really lost touch with ourselves in so many. There's so much that we do that is very surfacey.
Yes.
Because it's all about keeping. It's all about keeping up social media, and just, everybody is so politically correct. Everybody is so easily offended, so nobody wants to say anything. And I'm just like, just be real. Just be who you are, and like what you like, want what you want in life, and let go of what you don't. And just kind of learning. Some people don't even know what they don't like in their life. And so it's just kind of taking back and evaluating that, and looking at those different things and saying, wow, I really like this. I want to fill my life with more of this. Or, I don't like this. This doesn't make me feel good, and it's time for me to let that go.
I think the feel-good part is such a good point, because I think so many people forget what it's like to feel good, or just lose track of that being something that's really important to them, to do things that actually feel good, and how that manifests in your life. I heard you say something on the interview about fear, and those thoughts will manifest into your life. So when you're living into the fear, living into those thoughts, they continue to show up, and you continue to wonder, why is this always happening to me? Why is this always happening to me? Yes. Our thoughts are very powerful.
Absolutely. Yeah. Fear becomes self-fulfilling prophecy.
And how we feel is very powerful.
It really is.
So powerful.
Yes.
Okay, we have to take another quick break, but when we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Heather. Be right back.
Everyone knows it's easy to find first-run movies in the big theaters. But where can you go to watch your favorite classic movies on the big screen for the perfect night out? Why rent a flick when you can rent the entire theater? Call today to reserve our 32-seat theater for your next event, or just stop by to see what's showing this weekend. The 14 by 7 foot screen and the high quality digital surround sound system offers all the amenities you would expect from the big theaters, with a laid back atmosphere and comfortable seating of your own home. Wofford Theater at 1744 South 10th Street in Noblesville gives you the classic movies you want with a big theater experience.
When Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage. Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. and we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Align Your Life show here with Heather Bischoff. Before we get back into our conversation, wanted to just let you all know how you can get in touch with Heather. What's the best way?
You can go to dragonflydirection.com. I am on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, so just check out Dragonfly Direction.
Fantastic. I'm on Facebook too. Always love to connect there. My email is jennyparks@alignyourlifewellness.com. So we were talking about really caring about how you feel. To me, I think that's almost where it starts. Don't you think? You have to develop that desire to want to feel good, even if you don't know what to do about it.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, when we look at how anybody makes any change, there's always some sort of a driving force that's emotional.
Yeah.
And we just have to get to that point, unfortunately, where we're just kind of like, enough is enough.
Mm-hmm. Rock bottom.
Exactly. And so for, some people that's really low, and for some people it's just not. It's like, hey, I've had enough of this, and there's got to be more to life than this, essentially, is what it is. And a lot of people just don't even take the time. So I think a lot of people, that I work with, especially on an individual level, is they're just tired of feeling unfulfilled.
Yeah. Sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
And once that shift happens, I think, in my experience, once that shift happens, you really start to see so many things differently. Not only do you start to see yourself differently, but you just start to see the world differently. You start to see people differently. You start to maybe have more compassion or empathy. For me, it was just becoming less annoyed and really, and getting my ego in check way more often, understanding how it can serve me, but it can also not serve me.
Yes.
And, all of those things. And I think that once you start to really make that shift and start to connect with the inner being that you are, I mean, there's no stopping you.
No, there's not.
You.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, that is so true, because that for me is the most exciting part of working with clients, whether, again, individual, group, corporate, whatever. It's just like, once they get it, they get it. And then it's just helping them to get to that point. And then it's like, all of a sudden the world opens up to them again, and that they get that fire back in their belly, and they're excited about life, and they're totally looking through a different perspective, because now they see that all those amazing things out there in the world are for them too.
That is awesome. And along the way, you start to understand how powerful of a compass your emotions are.
Oh my gosh,
and
yes.
how, feeling, when you feel bad, it's, that you're off course somewhere, because feeling bad is just not what we're meant to be.
Right.
It's not how we're meant to feel.
Yeah.
So let that be the compass in your life.
It's kind of like, it's okay to feel bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay to take a pause and to feel bad, but then keep going. Don't stop there. That's not the end. That really is the beginning for a lot of people. Is, give yourself the time to grieve or feel bad or whatever it is, but then use that as fuel. Yes. So that you can then go out and do all the amazing things that, you're supposed to do. And, if life, if you can't do something remarkable in life, and it doesn't have to, there's no measure, which is the cool thing. Remarkable to you is going to be different for me. And so it doesn't mean that we have to, build the Empire State Building. It just means that, maybe we just put a smile on someone's face today.
Remarkable to you is going to be different than it is for me. That's such a powerful statement, because, again, it goes back to people comparing with other people, what they feel that they should be doing, measuring up. What do the Joneses have? Their white picket fence, their big house, their cars, their dogs. What do I have? That kind of thing. Yeah. It's so different for everybody, and we have so much power in designing that for ourselves, no matter what it is, don't we?
We absolutely do, and I think that's the exciting thing for me, again, is just working with these amazing women mostly who, when I first meet them, they just feel so scattered and lost, and really helping them to just get back on track. I'm just helping them to see what they already have in their, treasure box, so to speak. And so helping them to just dust things off and to, make them sparkle again.
Yes, and it's all there. So it's not something that has to be developed.
Yeah.
It's just something that has to be recognized.
Exactly.
Right? So with all the things that you mentioned at the beginning that you've gone through in your personal life, how do you let go? I mean, how do you get to that point of not being bitter, not resenting, not saying I've had a hard knock life and this sucks, and just how do you get back up from that, and how do you not go back there when your mind wants to take you there?
Well, for me, I can remember because so much of what I experienced as a child. So, for me, it was just kind of like, this is just what happens. It happens to lots of people. Yeah, it's no big deal. It's normal. And I think when I was 22, I received a letter from the state prosecutor's office asking me to write an impact statement because the person who had did some things to me was being sentenced and all this, and this was going to be read at his hearing. And I just remember thinking, who am I to really to cast judgment on another human being, because I don't know his history. I don't know his experience. I know mine. And that experience has made me a better wife, a better mom, a better sister, a better daughter, a better friend. And so how do you measure something like that? I mean, even if I were to say, like, oh, I want this and this and this, is that enough? And so for me, it was just thinking, I'm enough. And I don't need to cast judgment on someone else, because what they did was not right. I'm not saying that it's excusable, but it is forgivable.
It is forgivable. Everything is. And so many people don't feel like they are enough. So how do they get past that? Is it just fake it till you make it? Continue to tell yourself that?
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Yeah, I don't think you can. I mean, I think you can try, but I don't know anyone that's really been successful. I think it's something that you continually just remind yourself of, because I think feeling like we're enough, some days we feel like we're enough and, we got it going on. But other days we need a little help because we're on the struggle bus, and we just need to remind ourselves, like, I'm enough. I am equipped to do what I was called to do. And knowing that we have a purpose to just, it's not about us. It's just really how our story, our path intertwines with other people and how we can brighten their day.
And the more that you tune into that, the shorter the struggle bus ride is each time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you're able to understand what it is when it's happening and choose a different route.
Getting off at the first stop.
Awesome. Love it. Well, thanks so much for being here, as usual. Again, let's share with people how they can get in touch with you. And do you have any events? What's Dragonfly Direction up to?
Yeah, so 2016 is going to be a big year. We've got some big things coming out, and so I'm not going to spoil it because I've got lots of subscribers who are getting that news firsthand. But you can be a subscriber. Just go to dragonflydirection.com and you can click on the subscribe, and you can learn how to be your best sassy badass self.
Awesome.
And
love it.
January 20th, I will be at Practical Hypnosis so that you can work with me, and we will be casting your vision for 2016.
Oh, that's exciting. January 20th. Getting that on the calendar.
Yeah.
Awesome. And dragonflydirection.com is the best way for people to get in touch with you, and all social media outlets, of course.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yes.
Same thing here. Thanks so much for being here, guys. This is the last show of the year for us, so we'll be back next year. Heather, of course, will still continue on the third Tuesday of every month. We have a new time now, 2 o'clock and day, so be sure to make a note of that. You can always listen to the recordings as well. I want to thank Jim Wofford, Logan Street Signs and Banners, and the Wofford Theater for always allowing us to be here with you. And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, however you celebrate. I hope it's just the most wonderful season of all, and we'll see you in 2016. Bye, everyone.